like I said, like if an error happens in a game, I just know it's the next pitch. I don't have to worry about it. Got to move on. It's baseball. Like he's taught me a lot of those things. I think that's really helped me a lot.
Morning, Hatter baseball fans, and welcome back to another edition of Coffee with Hats. I'm your host, Mark Mashad Jr., and this morning we bring you another freshman All-American, right-handed pitcher, Nick Durgin. We're going to jump into it and talk about go-karts, omelets, getting ready for starts, fueling yourself from adversity, and the people who have had a big impact on Nick throughout his career. So let's not waste any more time and jump into it with freshman All-American right-handed pitcher Nick Durgin. Welcome to the show, Nick.
What is up?
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. What kind of coffee you drinking today?
Just straight. I got the coffee mug piece.
It really looks like a real peaceful coffee mug. Looks like you got a lot of coffee in there.
I don't even drink coffee. I just got the mug.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a fantastic interview. But I appreciate you wearing the hat, and I really appreciate you at least having a coffee mug with you. And that
it's coffee talk.
Yeah. Why did you grab the peace mug?
Just the world needs a lot of peace right now with everything going on. So me and my dad thought it was kind of a good mug to have.
Love it. I love it. That is a fantastic mug, and I'm glad you're getting consultation, from Dad about which mug to have on the Coffee with Hats show.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Man. I can tell this is going to be an absolute crowd favorite already. So let's jump right into it. We were talking about Dad. Let's jump right into it about growing up. What was life like, little Nick Durgin?
It's just straight baseball. I mean, I'd have a lot of fun with my friends, go maybe fishing. Catholic school, they had a lot of Catholic school league stuff. So basketball, flag football. I mean, that was kind of fun. But I mean, weekends are straight tournaments, having fun with my friends, family. So, I mean, as a kid, that's really what I did.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything in Melbourne, Florida, outside of sports? Is there anything that you enjoyed doing, just in the town?
Yeah, there was this little, not theme park, but we call it Andretti's. That's what it's called, Andretti's Park, and it's go-karts, mini golf, video games. That was kind of fun, a little spot all my friends like to go to. So
yeah, man, when you're a kid, there's nothing like jumping in go-karts, is there?
Yeah, no, it's the best. So.
Awesome. So okay, let's talk a little bit about high school baseball. What was high school baseball like for you playing?
Freshman year, we were loaded. We have a lot of upperclassmen. The team was great, great leadership. And then I had two of my buddies that I was really close with, still close with them, Caleb and Jackson and Eric. And we really got kind of groomed from that class. And we went to states that year, went to the Final Four, and we ended up losing. So that kind of we put that behind us, but we also remember that. So as we went through high school, we kind of that's what we wanted to go through again. And sophomore year is kind of when I played a lot my freshman year, first base, didn't really hit. And I didn't really know, to be honest, I didn't even know I could pitch. I just pitched in practice, just have fun. But sophomore year, I remember getting put the pitch, and I threw I had 13 Ks or something like that.
Jeez.
And Yeah, and I was like, wow. I mean, I pitched like travel ball, but high school, I had no idea. My coach was like the best. But yeah, that's when I really sophomore year is really when I like knew I could throw. And then sophomore year summer, after my sophomore year, going in my junior year is when I committed to Stetson.
Okay.
And like I think that was probably like my biggest year as a high schooler. Just like, wow, like I'm going to college for baseball. And that's like really when I stepped it up and I had a good junior year. And then my senior year, we went to states again. And I threw a one hitter in the state semifinal. And we ended up winning the next day in the championship with my buddy Jackson and Caleb. So that was a blast. And we kind of just like thought that was great because we lost our freshman year. We really didn't want to lose again. So
Yeah.
ended up on top.
So do you remember that first start? Like, do you remember that vividly? And do you like, what was that like when you were pitching and you're like, dang, I'm just like, nobody's touching me?
Well, the crazy thing is when I was like travel ball, little league, all my coaches wanted me to play infield. They wanted me to hit. They didn't really think of me as a pitcher. Like I was at shortstop. But that's like how I didn't really know. Like I still pitched, but like it wasn't like my main position. So when I pitched my first time high school, I remember it like vividly. It's just like, wow, I can actually like, I didn't have a lot of velo, obviously. I was a sophomore, but I could throw strikes. I could like make kids miss. I was just like, wow. So, I mean, it really took off from there.
So there you have it, travel ball coaches. If you're out there and you got a kid that wants to pitch, I mean, let him eat. Let him get on the mound.
Yeah.
You might be surprised.
Yeah.
Might be the next Nick Durgin. So high school was awesome. Let's talk about those two starts, that first start, and then we'll talk about that, the one hitter in the state.
Mm-hmm.
What was your preparation like going into that? What, like, were they similar games? Did you feel any more pressure in the state championship game? How did you handle that game?
I think there was a lot of pressure like before, like watching my team do the pregame and like warm up on the field, because usually I'm out there with them, but like my coaches wanted me to sit in the dugout, get shade, drink water, because Fort Myers, you know, it's like really hot.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was like when I was really like had kind of pressure on me because I was like really thinking about it. But I mean, once I started stretching and warming up, got on the field, it kind of I just soaked in, got on my zone, and just did me. I mean, I didn't really. Yeah.
It's kind of, is that just kind of you just approach each game, no matter what it is, the exact same?
Yeah, I think so. Like once I start throwing a baseball, start stretching, get on the field. Like once I just step over that line, like I'm in the dugout, the clubhouse at Stetson, or in high school, I'm in the dugout. But like once I step over the line, I'm just different. Like I'm all goofy and whatnot, like in the clubhouse dugout. But like once I'm on the field, I'm serious, in the zone.
Speaking of crossing the line onto the field, we had quite the process of finding a hat that fit you that would actually stay on your head this year.
Yeah.
You pitched through that. That was amazing. Every pitch, your hat would fall off. And then was
that my first game throwing against Air Force, or was it my second one?
Well, I think, no, it was right after your first game, because I still have the game-worn hat, number 22, in your books, number 1 in your hearts, Nick Durgin. I mean, he comes in and says, "Hey, I need a new hat." Obviously, I saw the hat flying off of him every pitch, and then we give you a new hat. We go down a size in hat, and that still falls off. So
that's the crazy thing, because I think the first game it didn't really happen that much. Like it didn't fall off my head, but the second game I pitched, it fell off my head, and some pitches like it'd go in front of my face, and I had no idea where I was throwing the ball, and it was just I can't even explain. Like, and I'd still be somewhere in the zone. I had no idea how, but
I mean, and that was and you might know this better than me. I apologize that I don't know which one was better. Wasn't your second start like really good, if I remember correctly, or was your
Yeah.
first? Yeah, I thought your second start was even better than your
Mhm.
first start, if I remember correctly. And
Yeah.
you can't even see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. And then Coach T, after my second start, would just like jokingly come up to me, just like, "So, when are you gonna get that new hat?" Or just like, "Is that?" And I'm like, "Coach, I got a big head. Like, I asked for the biggest hat they got. I mean, and so he squeezed like a tight hat on me, and that worked out a lot better. I mean, still like move a little bit to the right or left, but it's a lot better than the first one. I'll tell you that.
Right. I mean, we have guys that get their pants tailored. We're gonna have to take your hats down to the lady on the corner, have her take care of those.
Yeah.
Oh man, but that was quite an event. That was funny.
Yeah.
And thanks for going along with that. So okay, Melbourne Central Catholic High School, had a great career there. What was the process like of choosing the college, and then what led you to Stetson? Like, what were some defining factors for you?
I mean, it was really the coaching staff. Just they made it feel like home right when I stepped on campus. They showed me around. Vickers, I think Thomas Vickers was there when I went on the little like went around campus, like went out, saw the baseball field. He was the guy that showed me around,
Yeah.
and he was a funny guy. And
Uh-huh.
I just remember I just remember like all the things he said and just how I'd like it here. And then I mean, when I talked to Coach Trimper, he's from up north, so him and my parents are from up north too, so they got along pretty well. So I mean,
So where up north are your parents from?
Beverly,
Gotcha.
Massachusetts. Yep.
Okay.
So
Awesome. So you got that connection with Tommy, who was
yeah.
in my position. He was the director of ops, and now he's with a minor league club
Hmm.
with the Royals, I believe,
Yeah.
in North Carolina now. Um, and so you got that good connection on your tour and everything. That's awesome. And the coaches, they made you feel comfortable. I mean, obviously, a pitcher coming here to work with Coach T, you're coming to
Hmm.
work with one of the best and voted the best in
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Um, and is this the first time? Have you had pitching coaches before that worked with you? Or is coming to college the first time that you've had this opportunity?
I had a couple when I was younger. I worked with a couple. One of my main ones was Ryan Houston. He was a pro baller. He's a coach at O'Galley High School now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I worked with him a lot. I mean, I didn't really work with that many pitching coaches when I was younger because obviously I didn't know I was a pitcher yet. But
Mm-hmm.
once I was like committed to Stetson sophomore year to senior year, I was with Ryan Houston, and he really helped me a lot. So
Okay. Cool. All right. So now we got you. You've grown up in Melbourne, Florida. You've had your experience through high school.
hmm
Um, made your decision to come to Stetson. Now you enter your freshman year. And as you enter that freshman year, I mean, you come out, you kind of get an opportunity to come in and be a starter right away, kind of, just through things happening throughout the year. You get an opportunity to start, and it was like it was never looking back. I mean, you got your opportunity to start, and bang, you just work you through performance. Everybody, you get an opportunity. What are you going to do with it, right? You got this
hmm
opportunity, and you just locked yourself in. Like, you were named the freshman All-American. You on D1Baseball.com, they ranked you in the top 150 starting pitchers, all pitchers in college baseball. And then also D1Baseball.com ranked the 50 top freshman pitchers, and you were number 5 on that list. Can you talk to us a little bit about getting these individual awards and what it, just explain anything you can about that to us?
Personally, I don't really like the individual awards. I rather like see it as a team thing because it's not just me. It's like what happens behind the scenes. It's practices, the upperclassmen pushing me. One of the main things. Oh, Coach T, obviously, he's pushed me so much. I can't even explain how much. And I that's what I love about him. He's a great coach. But Coach Christian Parisian, the freshman catcher, my roommate, he's the one that I really want to like. Me and him just bond. We're roommates. We throw during practices. He just needs like he needs to get a lot more credit for what he does for me. Like he calls pitches, and the pitches he calls, 85% of the time I have that grip already in my hand. We just click, and he really needs to get a lot more credit for what he does for me.
I didn't know you and Christian had that kind of relationship or that type of chemistry out there on the mound when you were and that's awesome. How do you handle that with you? Like let's say he has a pitch call and you aren't on that page. Like how did you guys handle that throughout the year?
Off speed. Sometimes my curveball's there. Sometimes it isn't. And then my slider's there. So like we talk about what off speed's on, what off speed isn't, and we just talk about that in the dugout.
So like if let's say you're thinking fastball, right, and he throws down slider, do you just kind of go with what he has out there, or are you gonna kind of do you guys have the relationship where you're gonna work for what you want to throw?
I usually throw what I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking fast, or if he calls fastball or he calls slider, I'm thinking fastball. Usually I'm going to go fastball. It depends on the pitch. Like if I'm later in the game, if I'm throwing slider really well and he calls it and I'm thinking fastball, sometimes I'll go to it depending on the count. Because if I'm throwing it for a strike, I'm going to throw it. Yeah. But I mean, it just all depends on the inning, how I'm feeling about that pitch. So.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that was just a different look into things like, we don't really get into that. All right. That's going to lead us to 3 strikes, which is the end of the episode. And 3 strikes, we're going to do it a little different. I kind of want to move away a little bit from the questions about the other team. So I got 3 new questions. And we're just going to come at you with 3 strikes. These are I'm laying them in there for you. Well, 2 of them I'm laying them in. It's going to be an easy fastball for you to put out of the park. One that might make you think a little bit more. I'm going to start you with the easy ones. What is your favorite breakfast food?
Definitely my mom's egg omelet.
Ooh, okay. You putting anything in that omelet, or is it just straight egg?
Ham, bacon, and she puts like cheese on top of it, and it's money.
Nice. That's good. If you got somebody that can make a good omelet, those are not easy to make. Nice. So what do you have, an OJ with that, seeing as you don't drink coffee? You have an OJ with that? What, straight water, milk? What are you doing?
Chocolate milk.
Nice.
Yep. Chocolate milk's the way.
All right. So now we're going to get a little bit more difficult in here. Can you name the most influential person that, someone that's had the most influence on you growing up?
Definitely my dad. He's always been there for me. He pushes me every day. He helps me make smart decisions on and off the field.
Yeah.
He just helps me through everything, good and bad. He used to drive me to all my practices for Little League. Yeah. He'd stay for those practices. He'd watch me play. He'd see me hit my first home run when I was 10, 11. He's definitely the most important through my life. Coach Dooley, my high school coach, he's also very important. He pushed me. He's just, I can't even explain the kind of coach he is. He's taught me so many things, not just about baseball, like physically. He's taught me a lot of mental aspects of the game. Like I said, like if an error happens in a game, I just know it's the next pitch. I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it. Got to move on. It's baseball. Like, he's taught me a lot of those things. I think that's really helped me a lot in
Gotcha.
my career.
Awesome. All right, last one. This could be, something off speed for you here. Success to me is, I want you to finish that statement. Success to me is.
Um, there's a lot of ways I can think of it. But success to me is very important.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those, I mean, obviously I want to be successful, and there's a lot of other things that I want to be, but successful is definitely being successful is very important to me. It's one of those top things that I think about every day.
Probably comes along with being pretty competitive,
Yeah.
wanting to go out and win. And is it important for you, like, success wise, to be successful winning, successful personally, successful growth wise? Like, where do you see that it probably you feel it the most? Like, what's your instinct when you think about that?
Definitely, obviously being successful as just me is awesome, but I feel like the best feeling I get for being successful is when my team's successful, and when we just click and everything happens and we win. Especially when we lose, I mean, we learn when we lose, and that helps us win. So
Yeah.
I think that's the best feeling I get when I'm successful, is when I'm successful with my team.
Awesome. Well, Nick Durgin, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Didn't even talk about the Masters flags behind you. Maybe that's another day. I don't know. I thank you very much and appreciate you coming on here. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, my man.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.